Well, hello there, my Sagittarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your twin flame reading for November-ish 2019. I am your reader, Mark Angelo, Lyons, Mal for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, and president of DrawingTheCircle Productions, ready, willing, and able to give you some data, give you some information on your twin flame contract for November-ish 2019. I say ish because time is wicked fluid, and with this Mercury retrograde, I think it's done today. Today's the 20th. Yeah, it's done today. But then I'm going to be in the shadow period. Whatever. What I love about reading Sagittarians, well, two things. Number one, I don't have any planets in Sagittarius, so it's sort of like a break. Like starting with Pisces, my Pisces moon, that's rough. It just is. I am a Virgo, Sun, Pisces, Moon, Leo, Rising, Venus in Libra. If you are new to my channel, and if you are, please do like and subscribe. I'm shooting for that 1,000 plus subscribers mark. That's my goal. I'll get there eventually. But my promise to you all is that once I hit that 1,000 plus subscribers, you know, because someone's probably going to get pissed off and leave eventually anyway, doesn't it always seem to go that way? You know, Sun is exactly what I mean. I will do once a month for at least a couple of months what is called Drunk Tarot. Look, I never drink when I work. I never have, right? If I'm getting paid, no. You're getting the very best and the very blessed that I have. But at parties, I have, I just did a tarot party for a friend's 50th birthday out in Mauritius. It was lovely. And, they were drinking. It was a party, right? They're like, do you want anything? Do you want anything to drink? I was like, not unless you want my edit function to shut off, and we'll tear this party down in about 20 minutes, right? But actually, I'm a very fun drunk. So obviously, I didn't drink. It was great. I did spot readings. I sat on the sectional couch in the living room, and people came and went, and I was just like, bam, 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 and everybody heard everybody else's readings. I'm so used to being off in a private room somewhere, right? So I will do Drunk Tarot at least once a month. Well, I don't think I want to do it more than once a month because I'm not a big drinker. Like, I'll probably just get like a bottle of really nice white wine, maybe two, if not. No, I don't want to drink 2 bottles of wine in one night either because I'm going to have to do readings the next day, right? I don't know. Santa Margarita Pinot Grigio, right? There's something nice with something light, ice cold, and I'll do shots, right? I'll just pour myself shots, or maybe I'll have somebody bartend for me. Although usually I don't have people here when I'm doing these readings, but my past life son, Anthony, might. He's the one that I did the first and so far only Drunk Tarot. It's in my catalog on YouTube. Go have a look. Camera shut off halfway through, so I was like, oh. Cool, so please do like and subscribe. And to my returning subscribers, thank you so much. I love you all so much. You're getting used to me. I'm fun. And I can deliver truth with compassion and humor, which is sort of the coolest thing ever. Bedside manner, me got it. A couple of things before we dive in. Yeah, if anybody wants to, timestamp when the reading starts, pop it in the comments below. I notice nobody's been doing that, though I've been saying it, because I make the preamble fun. The exposition, the explanatory part of our program, this is a general reading, right? It's not going to resonate with everybody, so, you can thumbs down if you like, but it might just not be your reading this time around. I'm reading like hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. I mean, just one sun sign alone, let alone Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. That's a lot of people, right? And I always do at least Sun, Moon, Rising, right? So that, if it's not your read, then you can at least check your other planets. But also, if it is your read, maybe there are pieces of the puzzle in those other signs for you, right? So, and it's a mystery. We're all detectives on the pathway home. So how you know if a reading is right for you, here's because I watch other readers and, like, meh, right? It's not I hate this, or oh my god, that's called intuitive animation, right? It's just like, oh my god, oh ding 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 ding, or oh fuck you, I hate you, right? Like, that means it's for you, right? But you just don't want to receive it. So just pay attention to that. That's your part as the viewer, right? As the client, is to not try and hammer things into place, but to really notice how your feelings go in your body. Like, what is your physiology saying? Like, if all of a sudden your face starts burning red, that's telling you something, right? Cool, cool. The other thing is this is a twin flame read, not a soulmate read. They're not the same thing. Thanks to the magnificent work of the spiritual teacher Matt KAHN, bless his heart. As his heart is blessed, may all hearts be blessed. In the quantum model, he did a brilliant video called Soul Contracts, Twin Flames and Soulmates Redefined. Changed my life because I started really hating both of those terms. Soulmate. Like, it just started to sound like high vibrational codependence. I was like, fuck this shit. Well, I am a Virgo. We are the Hermit card, right? I'm like, I'd rather just be with the gods. Thank you very much. No more toxic relationships, although we need them. Soulmate contracts. Go watch the soulmate reads. I talk about them way more. Satisfying, symbiotic, right? Supportive. The bottom line of that contract is to help each other heal, and you've got hundreds, if not thousands, of soulmates in every lifetime, reason, season, or lifetime. Twin flames, turbulent, transformative, tumultuous, right? Did I say tricky, triggery? That the bottom line of that contract, because every contract should have a solid bottom line of agreement, is that the contracts teach you how to love yourself, teach you how to heal yourself, to approve of yourself, to forgive yourself. And you have just as many of those, right? So it's not you have this one twin flame. Oh, I wish there was just one twin flame. But no, I've had hundreds of those fuckers. And both soulmate and twin flame contracts, they can be in any form you can think of, because it's just how it is. It's not all romantic sexual, and believe me, the decks that I use, if it's gonna be that, it's pretty indicated. Not to mention, there are different scenarios in a collective of hundreds of thousands of souls, right, in contract. So think of this as a contract review. I was raised by a lawyer. My mother divorced my father when I was 2 years old because he was toxic and crazy. Bless his soul now. We're dear friends since he's crossed over. When I was 17, we've had some time, like time and distance to heal a relationship. But then she married my divorce lawyer. I call them Zeus and Hera because they are cool. So check the description box below, the link there from that Kahn's video. I did one called Clarifying Twin Flame Soulmates and True Lovers. True Lovers is the download that my pantheons gave me, and little chunks throughout my life. That it's sort of the implosion of twin flame and soulmate. It's really the higher dimensional patterning, but particularly for the romantic sexual. It's like the true lovers. That's the romantic sexual intimate part, but what it takes to get there, baby. The course of true love never did run smooth. Ask Willie Shakespeare, because he's probably one of my guides. Hey, Bill. Won't you marry me, Bill? Oh, please, not that song in my head all day. It's too circular. What else? Okay, we did what twin flames are, that these are transformative. They help you heal. They are the crucible that holds you in the center of the furnace of transformations for your highest good and your greatest joy, but, fuck, you don't have to like it at all. We're doing Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine in these readings just as a way to differentiate, because Party A and Party B sounds so litigious, I just can't. Right? I just can't with an open heart call one of you Party A and one of you Party B. So we're going to go with the Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine precept, I guess, if you want to call it concept. We all have divine masculine, divine feminine energies within us, which is, I would prefer to call it divine yin, divine yang, but this is the West, not the East. People are like, what's he talking about? Yang, 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 right? So this is not about bodily gender. It's not about gender preference. It's not about any of that. No. Y chromosome or nomosome, not an issue. I totally identify as a divine feminine because I have a lot of feminine energies, a lot of goddess energy in me. I am a witch. I am a goddess worshiper. She's my mom, like kind of literally in my life, as well as my entire pantheon of gods and goddesses. It's pretty balanced actually between god and goddess. But, different contracts bring out different dynamics, right? So with my mom, I'm very much the prince archetype, right? The divine masculine in me presents itself because she's such a queen. I fucking love her. Regal, beneficent, she used to be the wicked queen. She's not anymore, as they get older. I checked for pods in their basement, but they don't have a basement in their new home in Saratoga. So it's actually authentic. They alchemized somehow. No, I love them dearly. But with other people, certainly my divine feminine comes in. Like my past life son returned to me in this life, Anthony. It's like I'm mama, right? He totally brings out the mother in me. So you get what I'm saying? So it might be a little flippy floppy back and forth between the divine masculine and divine feminine, what you're picking up on. Just take what resonates. How do you know what resonates? There's a tuning fork going on somewhere in your body saying yeah, or oh fuck, not that, anything but that, right? Let's see what else we got. Oh, last piece, probably the most important. Please breathe. Breathe in the prana, the chi, the reiki, the shmeki, the eggs, the bakey, whatever it is. You don't even need to know what you're absorbing on the inhale, but it is giving you, the divine is giving you everything that you need just for that breath and helping you release, not just help you release everything that can be released in that moment for the well-being of all. Like a cough, I think in the last day of this sinus infection, I've been doing everything I'm supposed to do, but I will not take an antibiotic for a cold. Just won't do it. Big homeopath, you. But also every time you exhale, the grace that comes in through you filters through you, and you send it out as blessings, and it happens whether you're aware of it or not, so to be aware of it. Oh yeah, here's the last thing. I always give credit where credit is due to the best of my ability, and being so focused in the present moment that I can't fucking remember names. I have name aphasia. It sounds like a drag name, doesn't it? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, name aphasia. Oh, Trixie and Katya have done a number on me, and I couldn't be happier. So all of the decks that I read are at the bottom of the description box. As you scroll down to the bottom, you will see that there are workshops that I did about 2 years ago on the path of true love. Helpful stuff, but 2 years old, right? It's good. It's a good foundation. It talks about a lot of the way things used to be, but we're in a new energy patterning now, so we're actually writing a book based on that workshop series. Yes, I write books. I have 2 of them done, Spell Ingredients and Words of Grace. I did last year. They're really good. The reviews are great for both of them. We don't have as many reviews on Spell Ingredients because it was our first one, just to see if we could pull it off. Words of Grace, so just go read the reviews. They're really, 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 really good. I love that book. It saved my shit. I went through, my 3rd fucking Dark Night of the Soul in this life last year. Oh, didn't even know it was happening. Just sort of woke up and oh, fuck, it's another Dark Night, right? Total devastation beyond the power of me or anybody else to devastate me beyond that bit, but it was the divine saying, it's time. Okay, Mr. Cookie Dough, it's time to become a cookie. Get on the sheet, right? I'm like, oh, this is so nice. Oh, what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck? The cookie dough never knows what's going to happen in the process of becoming a delicious, crunchy on the outside, chewy on the inside, dark chocolate chips. When you come out, you're like, wow, this is fantastic. It's like childbirth. You don't remember the pain because you haven't got time for the pain, not since you found yourself. Carly Simon, blessed be. Okay, so I guess that's it. Are we ready to rock and roll? I knew the bride when she used to be my baby. I knew the bride when she used to rock and roll. Let's rock and roll. You're Sagittarians. Zeus sits in the throne of Sagittarius. He's the only one who sits in that throne. Some of the other, talk about a Game of Thrones, right? He never leaves that throne. He's Big Daddy. Ooh, Daddy. Pop, Daddy. Daddy, pop. Ready? Let's dive in. Please breathe. We're going to start with the Caroline Mace archetype cards to get the main energies of this twin flame contract, the divine feminine, the divine masculine, and the contract itself. Sort of like an entity unto itself, not third-party situation, but the energetic dynamic, the baseline contract, or at least the part of the contract or the clause within the contract being focused on for November-ish. Got it? I think that's way more than enough exposition. Let's do this. Breathe. Here we go. My collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved, please. One card in clarity to represent the divine feminine. What dominant archetype, what soul power to be alchemized from lead to gold in this twin flame contract is up for her in this Sagittarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract for November-ish 2019. Now, I don't usually associate this word with Sagittarians, but the monk nun, right? So both genders represented there, the monk and the nun, the energetic dynamic, the same thing. Now, I will read what's on this. This is obviously the divine family of archetype, but it has a lot to do with devotion, right? So let's keep that in mind. It has nothing to do necessarily with being celibate. I tried celibacy once. It was the worst 15 minutes of my life. Never again. I'm a dominant hedonist archetype, though I have immense devotion to the gods, to the divine. I'm a mystic. Born that way. All right, I will read that what's on that card once I get the other two down, right? Because then you hear them all at once, and they sort of, it's like, oh. And by then you usually know if this is your reading, right? Pay attention to what you're feeling in your body, particularly the lower three chakras. I know everybody wants the penthouse, but if you're dealing with the physical world and interacting with other human beings, it is the lower three chakras, right? Root chakra, your tribal stuff. Second chakra, umbilical, right? One-on-one relationships. And solar plexus, relationship with yourself, right? So let's get one. My pantheon, please. Collective pantheons, angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved. Same thing. One for the divine masculine in this Sagittarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame relationship for November-ish 2019. Please, one card. What is their dominant archetype? The soul power to be alchemized from lead to gold in November. Oh, the Liberator archetype. I have the Liberator archetype in my my Kairos wheel. Go read Sacred Contracts by Carolyn May. So this is her deck. Really, really lovely. I mean, really, the monk, the nun, monk nun. It's like bar nun, monk nun. With the Liberator, this is definitely... because the Liberator is this the Action Family? I think it's the Action Family, not the Wild card. So the Divine Family and the Action Family, right? Because the Liberator takes action in some way, shape, or form to liberate themselves and or others, light or shadow. We'll look at that in a little bit. Breathe. I swear, it's like whoever it is just going, Mark, breathe, you're going too fast. That's why these readings are not quickies. The healing that goes on in both twin flames and soulmates are so essential to the evolution of planet Earth. Although the planet itself, she's doing what she got to do for humanity, right? Unity consciousness anchoring into, third and fourth, kind of blowing up the illusion of separation. Yeah, as one of us heals, all of us heal. That's just the quantum model of how it's always been, that fifth dimensional unity consciousness, right? Awareness of the unity. It's like, oh, we're all one, except that bitch over there, screw her, right? It's like, well, there's your next twin flame, right? Learn how to love, learn how to heal, learn how to forgive, all of that. Cool. All right, so this one will represent the contract in and of itself, please. My collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved. Please, one card to represent this Sagittarian Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract for November-ish 2019. And we've got... Make some pea soup, folks. We've got the Exorcist. Not my favorite movie. For an empath and a mystic, probably a bad idea bringing me to see that in second grade in a drive-through. I held my head behind the seats because you realized what a mistake you had made, Grandma. So I got to hear it and visualize it in my lovely clairvoyance. I still can't watch those films. My first husband was really into it. Boy, did that make sense during the breakup. Woo! Possessed. Repossessed. So we've got the monk here, right? The divine feminine monk nun. Now, I'm going to call her she. Like I said, it's not about bodily gender, but, it's easier to just pick a pronoun and stick with it for a reading. Every archetype has shadow and light. We're going to look at the war, lead, and gold. We're going to start with the lead. We're going to see where we're shooting for gold. This is your work. This is what the Divine Feminine, if you're the Divine Feminine, obviously, is healing in this contract. So the shadow attribute, negative judgment of the physical world, excess piety, right? So like excessive piety. Piety is the grace of the second chakra. It's in my book, Words of Grace, but also I first learned about these graces through the work of Carolyn Mace. Mace Grace, as I like to call it. I would never say it to her. She's a tough cookie from Chicago. I love that. I love Caroline Mace. I get her. I think she would get me, but let's not push it. Queen archetype. Negative judgment of the outside world. It's like, well, fuck this world. This world is ridiculous. I'm just going to stay at home, and I'm only going to pray, and I'm not going to watch the news, right? It's like that's a shadow nun. Why does it sound like a Marvel character? Totally does. Can't tell if it's hero or villain, right? Probably villain. The shadow nun, the shadow monk. Like the shadow king, right? Who else is going to pray for the shadow king? Legion. Wasn't that fucking awesome? Yeah. I wish they would bring it back, but they can't. They finished it. Light attribute. Selfless devotion and single-minded dedication to spirit, right? That's what I mean about a divine family archetype. The monk, the nun, they're like, whatever else is going on in this world, it will change like weather and bloat. The cycles will turn. There is a season, turn. I've heard that song so much when I was a kid. I made up my own words to it, and I'm not saying what they are on camera. But in a twin flame relationship, you may be very, 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 very devoted to this. But if you can be devoted to it for the spiritual growth, right? For loving the divine within you and blessing the divine within the other person, this may go a bit smoother for you this month. Let's look at the Divine Masculine Liberator. Shadow attribute, imposing your own tyranny over those you claim to liberate. It's like, I liberate them, but then they're mine. Ignoring legitimate constraints, particularly if you like helped someone out of debt or like rescued them from a situation and liberated from their pain. And it's like, now you fucking owe me, right? But also ignoring legitimate constraints, right? Ignoring legitimate boundaries. When someone says, no, I'm not ready to do that, and you push and push and push and push and push, you say, come on, I really want to go there. And they're like, no, that's okay. You go. You have a good time. I was like, no, you're coming with me. It's just like, I'm going to liberate you from this situation. Right? It's not great. It's just not great. That's lead. That's toxic. The light attribute, freeing yourself and others from outmoded beliefs, right? So a lot of air, like, come on, let's look beyond that belief. Well, let's at least question it, right? Releasing negative thought patterns, of course, for yourself, and not just thoughts, thought patterns. Excuse me. That's shadow patterns, fear patterns within our belief system. I mean, we can try and spelunk down into the unconscious mind with a miner's hat, you know, a flashlight, magnifying glass, and tweezers, right? To try and tweeze that shit out. Which is sometimes what a lot of psychotherapy, and I'm not doubting psychotherapy. I had the best therapist on planet Earth. I haven't had to see her in a really long time, though. She was that good, right? But as we, walk the path, as we heal, as we love, that the mind cannot be healed alone by itself. It's like, let's let the thing that needs healing try to heal itself. You must bring in the heart. And so as you heal the heart, it heals the mind. And as you heal the mind, it's like father and mother working together, right? And since we've got the Liberator and the Monk Nun, why wouldn't this be an Exorcist contract? There's so many lines of that movie running into my head, but I'm not bringing it into this read. The shadow attribute, fear of facing your own demons. And who the fuck isn't afraid of facing their own demons? Can I talk about that? Yeah, okay. I've mentioned it in a bunch of the other videos, probably since right before Halloween. I discovered there was a thing called a covert narcissist. Because narcissists, I can spot overts. Spot them a mile away. They're easy to spot, aren't they, right? And my intuition's pretty fine-tuned to them, like that kind of abuse. It's like, you're going to come for me, you better sharpen your claws. I am Leo rising, and I will chant Bob the Drag Queen, purse first lyrics under my breath while I deflect you, while I guard you out. I'll bless the fuck out of you. Walk into the room purse first, right? Cat, 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 boom. the covert narcissist, I've had them all of my life. I didn't know they existed. They are sneaky as fuck. They lie. You don't know how many compulsive liars I have had twin flame contracts with in this life, going back to my father. Yes, even my father was a twin flame contract. Twin flames, by definition, you can't give each other what the other one wants. You can only give them what they need, which is usually not fun. Yes, the truth will set you free, Liberator, but it usually pisses you off first. Gloria Steinem, lover. Would love to meet her. If she would have a glass of wine with me, I would love to just listen to her for 5-10 minutes, right? So with this fear of facing your own demons, that's what these personality disorders are. They're manifestations of the 7 deadly sins, 1 in each of the 7 chakras, but don't worry, there are 2 graces in each chakra to help balance them. Go read Words of Grace from a Professional Witch. I'm pushing that book because now's the time of year when people really need grace, right? And it's essentially a book of prayer, but it's funny. It's me doing it, and the artwork is on my own. So yeah, no copyright infringement with this lawyer-raised witch, Virgo, right? So fear of facing your own demons. What does it take to undo these fears that control us? And this is in the contract itself. Both y'all are doing this. The light attribute, freeing yourself and others from destructive impulses, like ghosting, like not communicating, like being passive-aggressive, being codependent, right? By being a vampire, right? The Exorcist, and remember, exorcism, if you did not know this, is a form of blessing, right? But in terms of the ego, in terms of our own toxicity, it's not about pushing it away so much. It's about embracing the shadow. It's about loving that which has not been loved within you. You will cry, you will scream, you will rail. It will feel like emotional exorcism. But it is a form of purification through the open, loving heart. If you think of the inner child as your emotional heart, your heart chakra, know that it remembers every slight, every neglect, every abuse, right? So twin flame relationships are often about purging that stuff, but not so much vomiting it up as integrating, alchemizing the lead into gold, right? So you have lead, toxic, has 3 atoms more than gold. You put it through the process of alchemy, right? The fires of transformation, and nothing does that quite like a twin flame contract. It burns off those 3 extra atoms so that there's a slight shift in mass, something must be given up or forgiven up. And then you have, instead of an insulator and something toxic, a conductor and something healing. Thank you, whoever y'all that was really clear and concise. Let's clarify these. These are the 3 main energies. Everything else will be clarified by the remaining decks. We're going to take the Doreen Virtue Healing with the Angels Oracle and ask the angels for a celestial overview, because they paint in broad strokes, people. They don't give me so much detail. Well, they do privately, but, you know, that's me and them. Because I'm of the Order of the Urielites. We're the ass kickers. We're the ones wearing black leather jackets. And Doc Martens and a lot of stud jewelry. Stud. My angels, breathe, please. 1 card in clarity for this Divine Feminine Monk Nun archetype. In this Sagittarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract for November-ish 2019. Please clarify the monk nun. Well, retreat, okay? So indicating separation right now, that the Divine Feminine is sort of on her own in retreat, probably in some kind of prayer or practice, spiritual or otherwise, right? But very devoted, perhaps devoted to herself. Self-care time, introspection, contemplation, because this was driving her a little bit cuckoo. Bringing up her own fears, her own toxicities, her own abandonment issues that she needed to pull back. That's what I'm getting off that. Let's get one for the Divine Masculine Liberator. Pardon the cough. Oh, I have my bottle of water there. Oh, I have to go get my bottle of water, which means you're going to see what I'm wearing below the table. I look like Catwoman's gay brother, Kyle. Kyle. That's exactly why I don't write comic books. Catman. It's not as pretty as Catwoman. Cat fag. I really shouldn't say that. Hold on. See, like, meow. Yeah, I'm wearing workout clothes under this. I could be a newscaster, really. I could be the gay male Rachel Maddow. I have the glasses. I could pull it off. Oh, so much better. Okay. My angels, please, one card in clarity for this. Woo! No, too many. Please, for this divine masculine liberator in this Sagittarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, twin flame contract for November-ish 2019. What do you got for the divine masculine liberator here? Harmony, right? So he's sort of going with the flow, right? Tuning, not just flowing, but in harmony, like in balance within themselves. Feels like they've already been in this process. This might be more than just a reason or a season. This might be a lifetime archetype. It's called a Chronos archetype for this liberator, that they're sort of in harmony right now. Things are harmonizing, that they are in balance vibrationally. Probably their head and heart are coming into congruence. Now, I realize the Exorcist and the Liberator very much have that similar vibe to it, right? Like being liberated from your demons or exorcising them. But the monk nun being such a high divine archetype, like a lot of monks and nuns were possessed through their process behind cloistered walls, right? Also, a monk and a nun could, or a nun might be able to perform that kind of exorcism. So there is a real congruous thing going on here. So let's get one angel card here for the Exorcist archetype representing the twin flame contract in and of itself. My angels, please, one card in clarity for this Sagittarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract for November-ish 2019. We've got the Exorcist with freedom. There we go. Hold on to my freedom. Oh, God, George Michael, I miss him. He's so beautiful. His soul. Should have made out with him when I had the chance. Unfortunately, I was under 18. So cute back in the 80s. He was. God bless. God bless. God rest his soul. I'm not a medium. I'm rare, but, you know, look at the work I do. Because if you're going to do it right. Let's ask the goddesses with the Daughters of the Moon Tarot. One card for the Divine Feminine and one card for the contract itself. We will duplicate that process with the Mythic Tarot. One for the Divine Masculine and one for the contract, right? Oh, my goddesses. Please, one card in clarity for the Divine Feminine. This monk, nun archetype in this Sagittarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract for November-ish 2019. Please, one card in clarity. We've got the monk nun with retreat. What say you? Meditation, right? Now, in this deck, the Seven of Blades, not usually the image that you think of with the Seven of Swords, right? Sneaking away, deception. That's why I love Daughters of the Moon. I love Fiona Morgan's reinterpretation that this is really about going deep. So it feels like that is a consistent thing with the retreat and meditation. Like I said, meditation, contemplation. Contemplation and meditation are not exactly the same things, but they're similar in vibration. Where, you know, meditation is, there are so many different forms of meditation, Eastern and Western. Can't even go there at the moment. It's too big to talk about. But contemplation is about going within and almost like running something through all of the chakras and the nervous system to really contemplate it, to let it ferment within your being and let it transform you more than you transform it. All right. For the overall contract here, please, my goddesses, one card in clarity for this Sagittarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract for November-ish 2019. And we've got Ma'at, the Justice card. Now, Ma'at, at the end of your life, she takes your heart, you give it to her, it's just rite of passage, right? And weighs it against an ostrich feather. I believe it's ostrich. And if it balances, you get to move on. And if not, well, depending on which translation of the book, the Egyptian Book of the Dead, one is you just have to reincarnate. Womp womp. The other, your soul gets eaten by a demon. I prefer version A, if we get to choose, right? Because how can the soul be devoured or destroyed? It's immortal and eternal, right? You know, so some of these things need not be taken so literally. In my opinion, though, I ain't pissing off any ceremonialists today. Thank you very much. I've dealt with enough ceremonial magicians in my life dealing with the Egyptian pantheon that it drove me straight back to my Greeks, because a pita, some grappa, and you. Loaf of bread, jug of wine, and you. And thou, wow, Katya. Let's do the mythic tarot here, please. Nick knock, nick knock, nick knock, nick knock. So many of you have no idea what I'm talking about, but there's some queen lover out there just screaming, oh, honey, honey, honey. Look it up. You're missing out if you don't know. All right. My gods, as I said, Zeus sits in the throne of Sagittarius for me. So my god, any gods in particular, but Zeus in particular. Please, one card in clarity for this divine masculine liberator in this Sagittarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Sun, Twin Flame contract for November-ish 2019. We've got the liberator with harmony here. What's going on with him? Well, Two of Pentacles, bringing himself into balance, which is perfect with harmony. But this means physical world harmony, right? Like harmonious, like, I don't know, it's that feeling of that juggle and that flow, but where it's like you go to open a door and somebody opens for you, right? It's like you think you're at a red light and it turns green, right? Just like flow and juggle and balance because of that harmony with the Two of Pentacles. It's like somebody who knows how to juggle. So the divine masculine here is really in a rather lovely place where the divine feminine is really more reclusive, meditative, contemplative, but with that monk nun energy, it's like she's being called inward. It's not a better or worse than. It's just very different. It makes sense. Divine feminine, divine masculine, more yin, more yang. So let's get one of these for the contract itself. So my gods, please, one card in clarity for the Sagittarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Sign, Twin Flame contract for November-ish 2019. We've got the Exorcist. We've got freedom, and we've got justice. What say you? Ooh, the Three of Cups, something to be celebrated. Now, I know a lot of readers say, third-party situation, not getting that here. Not with what's on the table. This is really such a high-vibe thing. Not that a three-way, a third-person relationship can't transpire in a high-vibe twin flame relationship or soulmate relationship, because everything is here to help us heal. All the contracts have already been written. We've never done anything wrong ultimately, though we believe we do, because that's just how the quantum is written, and we know a lot of the contract before we come in. The outcomes are already determined. Our free will is about how do we want to deal with it, how do we want to approach it, who do we want to be, right? We want to be our souls, our higher selves. So there really, with that ma'at and freedom, that there is that Three of Cups, the wedding of Cupid, of Eros and Psyche here. A really, really beautiful card of celebration and initial completion, right? 3, 1/3 of the way to a 9, right? Not quite the 10. So something to be celebrated here in terms of negativity being released. Now, it might be that, oh no, please tell me I did not spill that water all over the place. No, I didn't. Good, the cork stayed in. Yay. This is not wine. It's pure filtered water. You can stay up there instead of me kicking you over again. I didn't spill the tea. I almost spilled the pure. Spill the pure, Virgo. Spill the pure. So it might be that, like, whatever was going on in this twin flame relationship in terms of its turbulence, you're on a timeout, but that both of you really have something to celebrate within yourself about certainly coming into harmony and balance, certainly, and with the divine feminine, finding that within herself some way, somehow. Now, here's where it gets a little dicey, tricky. Chuck Spezzano Love Pack, I divided it into the suit of problems, which is one whole suit into itself, and it's half the deck. These are what are they called? Womp Womp, the Debbie Downer deck. And then we've got the other three, the luck, the healing, and the grace suit, right? So we're going to pull for the shadow and the light, the lead and the gold, for all three of the dominant energies, starting with the divine feminine, because ladies first. Even if you're a male-bodied divine feminine. So here we go. Please breathe with me. My masters, please, one card in clarity. What is the lead going on in this Sagittarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign? Twin flame contract involving this divine feminine monk nun archetype with retreat and meditation. What is it? What's the lead? What's the dominant problem here? Issue, loneliness. Okay, so they are either dealing with their loneliness, or because of the retreat, they are contemplating and dealing with their loneliness, which that is certainly inner child stuff. It is the child archetype that feels lonely. The victim archetype feels alone. I am so alone, right? And the child and the victim slash victor are the survival family archetype. So this is something that is endemic to all of humanity. I don't know that trees, well, I know dogs and cats and, animals can feel lonely too, to an extent. I know, heartbreaking. Please, Sarah McLachlan, knock it off. You're fucking killing me every time I change the channel. That thing of loneliness, right? So to love your heart. So if you are the divine feminine here, feeling lonely, think of your heart as that child within you, and just, it's going to take a while, I know, but you tell it, it's okay. It's okay that you feel lonely. Everybody feels lonely, but I am here to give you the love that no one else can, and I love you. Now, the child may be like, screw you. You've given our love away to other people instead of me, right? Because we do. It's what we're trained to do since birth in this lifetime, and how many before, right? Somehow calling it selfless when really we're ignoring the divine child of our hearts, right? It's like this beautiful divine child surrounded by all of this pain and toxicity, all this lead, right? Feeling very isolated and insulated. To love that child, you will cry, right? Yeah, talk about an exorcist, right? You're going to exorcise that child by giving it the love. And just like a bank deposit in debt, like this divine feminine might have been cashing emotional checks that she did not have the supply for in her account, and is now at a deficit. So it takes a while of really making deposits, right? It's like, I love you. It's okay. No matter what the fuck happens, I'm here. And by the way, my inner child loves the F word. Apparently that's a thing, right? So lovely. We have this deck here to get, what's the gold here, or what's the healing element, the thing that helps with that loneliness. So please, my masters, one card in clarity for this divine feminine monk nun archetype in this Sagittarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Twin flame contract for November-ish 2019. Adventure. Now that also speaks to the child, but if the child doesn't feel safe, it's not going to want to go on the adventure. But oh, I can't wait till this cough is gone. Detox, exorcism, right? But this is an emotional adventure, right? This is a thing where you take this child in your arms and you say, come on, we're going to move forward step by step. I mean, they're riding an elephant, right? They can charge, but usually not that fast right away, right? That take the steps. This is an adventure, sweetheart, and I'm with you, and I will keep you safe. And I'm so sorry. Like, if you study Ho'oponopono, there's a lot in there about the inner child. Although, go back to John Bradshaw, Homecoming from the 80s. That book, that teaching, I think it's pretty much aged well. It's been a while since I've skimmed it. But really, I found the inner child to be the heart through Matt KAHN. He's really good. Hay House author, too. And he's funny, and he curses, which is sort of the key to my heart. So the loneliness and an adventure, that there is this sense I'm getting even of preparation, right? It's like pulling the arrow back on the string, right? Going into loneliness, solitude, contemplation, and then right? All at once forward motion into adventure. Hang in there. We still got a couple more cards to look at here. We'll do a summation. I'll pop the picture up at the end as I usually do with these reads. I'm so sorry. Here, one more sip of water. The reason why they always say to hydrate with head colds is because it thins the mucus so you don't cough as much. But coffee takes out, 1 cup of coffee takes out 1.5 cups of water from your system. So it's just compensation all day long. I know a lot. I was raised by a teacher, nursery school, but still. Let's get the lead here for this Divine Masculine Liberator. Breathe. Please, my masters, 1 card in clarity for the Divine Masculine Liberator in this Sagittarian Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign Twin Flame contract for November-ish 2019. Please, what's going on? We got the Liberator with Harmony and the 2 of Pentacles. Feels like he's walking on sunshine, but it's a fantasy. Life is just a fantasy. That in their minds, and not that the harmony is necessarily artificially produced, but there's definitely a sense that the Divine Masculine Liberator here has this fantasy that they want to manifest, or might think they have already manifest, not really knowing what's going on with this Divine Feminine. That all is well. Now look, affirmations and belief management and healing the mind and all of that stuff is lovely, my Liberator, right? Liberating yourself from negative energies and thoughts, I get it. But then there is also certain realities, right? That every choice has a consequence. And sometimes our most liberating choices can leave someone else in the not feeling great, not feeling happy, feeling wounded. The truth is that we are not ultimately responsible for anyone else's reaction or response. That's the free will we all have. But to be in harmony and to be in balance with this idea that just because you're doing that, you're going to get everything that you want. Hey, maybe, maybe not. But if you look at the card, the dude's laying on a hammock, right? No leaves on the trees, barren landscape. But in his mind, it's like, no, the trees are full, the grass is green, and the water is wet, and the light is warm, right? Keep an eye on it, because you have to liberate yourself from your fantasies as well. Now, what's the difference between holding a fantasy, holding a vision, and creative visualization, and, ideal mind stuff? Let's have, they're saying have a look-see at what the cards have to say. I mean, I know my answer for that. Essentially about divine surrender. It's like, okay, for the highest good and harming none, as I will it, so let it be done, or thy will be done. It's like, okay, this is what I want, but everything that I have right here, right now, is everything I need to help me heal, learn, grow. Everything is happening for us, right? It's Course in Miracles, the way KAHN says it, everything is here to help. You don't have to like it. You don't have to be Pollyanna about it. So there might be an ignoring of something going on, and that might be part of the harmony and balancing of how you are liberating at least yourself in this twin flame, right? So, my masters, please, 1 card in clarity for this Divine Masculine Liberator in this Sagittarian Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, twin flame contract. What is the gold here? What is the balance to fantasy? What is the element of healing, grace, or luck? We've got the luck card in luck. Well, thankfully, you're lucky, right? Luck. That there are elements of the fantasy, and let me clarify this, the things that we really want, we came in to incarnate. But here's what I'm learning, and I learned this a long time ago from teaching, or at least I got this insight a long time ago from teaching spellcraft, right? Because I'm very good at spells. My spells always work, but never in the way I expect them to. What if the things that we want, that we think we're manifesting, are just intuitive hits about what's coming, right? So it's sort of like the unconscious mind saying, well, here's something that's been scripted before you came in, but why don't you experience it as though it's something that you want, and that you manifest it? It's going to happen anyway, right? But it's just like, oh, look what I manifested. And of course, if it's something wonderful, you manifested it. And if it's something horrible, you didn't, right? Well, I didn't manifest that. That's karma. It's like an instant way to pop into victim. So with that luck, you may be going through a period of luck, right? Because with harmony, it is, like I said before, it's like, you know, everything clicking into place. But be careful of the fantasy that you're making it happen, right? Divine intervention is divine intervention. And yes, we are all divine, but we are in the process of spiritual awakening, right? Awakening to the truth of who we are. So humility goes a long way, kindness goes a long way, and love never goes out of style. Right? Love, doesn't matter how high you go on the vibrational spectrum, there is just, love is always a thing, because it's the truth of who we are. Right? Let's get to, for this exorcist contract, this is going to be a fun one to title, right? A monk / nun and a liberator and an exorcism contract. Which you're watching it already. Though I haven't posted it yet, because I'm still recording it. This is a rough ride, this one, but it's a beautiful one, too. Please, my masters, one card in clarity for this Sagittarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign Twin Flame contract for November-ish 2019. We've got the Exorcist, we've got Ma'at, we've got the Three of Cups, and we've got freedom. Hold on to that freedom. What say you? Cynicism. So that's what's being alchemized overall. Cynicism. What is cynicism? I mean, there's a part of us that needs to be cynical, like particularly when dealing with fantasy, right? It's like, well, I don't know about that. But then there's that cynicism. I love this card so much. It just cracks me up, right? There's a couple canoodling, right? A heart between their faces. Oh, they love each other. And I don't know, I think I like this woman at the top of the building just dumping her trash on them. Just like, fuck you, get off of my patio, right? I love that card so much. You know, I was raised by the sarcastic and the cynical, so it feels a little bit like home. But that's why I try and relegate that to the realm of humor, right? I do find that funny. But, you know, cynicism is closed-hearted. It's just not great. So is there a demon cynicism? Well, there's certainly a demon loneliness, and I don't know about a demon fantasy, but, you know, that cynicism, it's just not open-hearted here. And if your heart is being weighed by Ma'at, chomp, 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 underworld Egyptian Pac-Man action going on there, ghosts and all. So, waka, 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 waka. It's also Fozzie Bear digitized. My masters, please, what is the gold here? What is the grace, the luck, the healing available here in this Sagittarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign Twin Flame contract for November-ish 2019, please? Joy. Okay, joy. So we've got freedom, we've got joy. So if this, really, how can you be cynical when the natural state of your soul is bubbling up? In other words, there is something being exorcised here for both of them about freeing themselves from cynicism by really going into joy. But here's the thing. You can enjoy yourself. That's fine. That's sort of like the Eau de Toilette version. But the natural state of the soul is joy. It's one with all that is. It's completely fulfilled. Now, the experience of the soul taking on lifetimes, playing different characters and stuff, that's for really its own enjoyment, but more about bringing joy into those individual life streams that they incarnate as, that they are chosen to play, right? Like secret agents, secret angels sent in to do the work. So, again, enjoy with the Three of Cups, right? So there's definitely a celebration here with freedom. But justice, also the scalances are being veiled. Oh my God, I'm sure Mercury has not turned direct just yet. The scales are being, let's see, that's a Mercury retrograde. Whoop, inversions. Yeah, you have to say it again, right, to get it clear. Just lovely. Just really, 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 really lovely. I mean, I'm loving this monk nun over here and this liberator. I'm loving you both. But what you're doing together is really a service to all of humanity, because as one of us heals, as a little cynicism heals in our hearts, it heals a little bit in all hearts. We're all in this together. We have a couple more cards to lay down. We're going to use the Whispers of Love Oracle. One for the Divine Feminine, one for the Divine Masculine, and one for the contract itself. So bear with me. And breathe. Bear and breathe. The voices of the higher selves are represented in this deck. So the higher selves of all involved, please, one card in clarity for the Divine Feminine in the Sagittarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, twin flame contract for November 2019. This monk nun in retreat, meditation, contemplation, feeling loneliness, but preparing for the adventure. What say you, the higher selves of all involved? Demonstrate love. This card has been coming up so consistently in all sorts of different positions in these twin flames. Granted, it's only the fourth one I've done. Find out what is important to the people you love and act on it, including that child of the heart. I'm putting that in there. She may very much need to take the adventure of demonstrating love to this child. The way I do it is I ask this child what it wants. And when it is truly in that place of heart-centeredness, and it's like, I just want to take a nap, I'm tired. It's like, okay, sweetheart, let's do that, whatever it wants. But it's like, I want to torture them. It's like, I love you, I get it. You're allowed to feel that way. It's okay to feel that way. How may I serve you? Key their car. Find some rusty nails and a potato, carve their name on it, and stick it on the train tracks. I was very well trained, by the way. Yeah, let's not go there. I have eschewed such behavior. Now I just bless people until they combust. So to demonstrate love, maybe that when she comes out of this hermitage, if you will, there will be some demonstration of love, but divine feminine, demonstrate that love to yourself. Do what you have to do. Take the path of true love adventure to truly love yourself. The divine masculine, please. Higher selves, one for the divine masculine in this Sagittarius collective. I hear you. Sun, moon, rising, Venus sign, twin flame contract for November-ish 2019. Please, one card for the divine masculine liberator with harmony, two of pentacles, fantasy, and luck. Look to your inner strength. Okay, I would have thought that these could have been reversed, actually. You are stronger than you realize. That the need for liberation here, right, and the fantasy that they can maybe perhaps liberate this divine feminine is just that, a fantasy. She's doing it on her own. That there might be something that the divine masculine does not want to do, right, or is imposing their own tyranny over those they claim to or want to liberate, and ignoring legitimate constraints. That to violate someone's boundary, to violate their alone time, right? To insist yourself, to insert yourself into a situation where somebody is really doing their work, particularly in divine feminine, is not the wisest thing to do, and it does show a certain weakness of character. So look to your inner strength, look to your heart, that you also are in this twin flame relationship. Yes, of course, freedom, the exorcist, but something's on the scales here. Are you doing this all through the mind, or is there an element of the heart that's missing here for you? That's your ultimate strength, and let's get clear. That seems to be the challenge of the divine masculine, just where the challenge of the divine feminine, right, is to balance the mind. You know, it's tricky shit. Nobody gets it right all the time. Let's get one for the contract itself. And then I am taking some Alka-Seltzer plus cold day, not night. I'm going to be pass it out in the middle of a reading, right? Head down, get moisturizer and pressed powder on my car is absolutely not unforgivable. Higher selves of all involved. Breathe. Some of you just chuckled. Please, one card in clarity for this Sagittarian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Sun, twin flame contract for November-ish 2019. We've got the Exorcist. We've got Ma'at, the card of justice. We've got the Three of Cups, the wedding of Eros and Psyche. We've got the Freedom card from the Angels. We've got cynicism and joy. Feeling very mutually exclusive. Oh, this is the one. One card, please. A whisper of love for this contract overall. You are limitless. Recognize this truth. You can do anything you choose to do. So in this alchemy, the last few limits of what not just each of these can do individually, but of what this twin flame contract in and of itself, it is limitless. That its effects are unknowable, not just unknown, unknowable. That the potential is not just unknown, unknowable. That there is something very limitless here, and that makes sense because if the monk and the nun, since they cannot by contract give each other what they want, but give each other what they need, that neither one of them may want any part of that, that there are limitations being exercised that are being freed here. Worth it. Worth it, worth it, worth it. We are going to end the reading with a Journey of Love Oracle card. I love this. There's poetry in it. I ain't memorizing all that for all these cards. I think there's 70 cards or something. Yeah. So I'm going to read it from the book because my experience with them has been so moving and so beautiful, right? So let's do this. As we started with the Caroline Myss archetype decks with the collective pantheons, we will end with it and see what this is about. I love these. Breathe. Oh, my collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved. Please, one card in clarity. Where is this Sagittarian collective? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, Twin Flame contract on the journey of love, on the path of true love. What's going on here, please? One card in clarity. I hear you, I hear you, I hear you. And then you'll put it in my hands. Thank you. One for this Sagittarian collective. There it is. Oh, sacred convergence. Like a harmonic convergence, but more sacred, Jose Arguelles. 28. 8, 9, 10. A completion. That would make sense. Pretty card, too. Looks like, wow. Oh, yeah, it looks like a whole bunch of people getting together. It looks like a lakeside party. It's like, I've got the Calvin coolers. They still make those. Bartles and James. There's a twin flame for you waiting to happen. Okay, card number 28. Sacred Convergence. Now, if you're new to the channel and new to these cards, there is an explanation about the card itself, a divinatory meaning, and then an oracular meaning, what it means, and then a poem. And this one's pretty long, so please bear with me and breathe. Sacred Convergence. There is a coming together happening within your body and soul, a unification of all that is within you. This is akin to traveling to a strange land, all sorts of new sensations, not all welcome at first, begin to make themselves known to you. If you are experiencing discomfort within your own body or uncertainty and a sense of expansion to indicate more of life in your thoughts and feelings, then you are conscious of this sacred convergence. They are not conscious of run-on sentences. It is like two worlds or more colliding. If you are sensitive, you will feel it happening as an important event without necessarily having a physical situation to attribute the experience to or upon which to hang an explanation. It feels like that's going on in the Divine Feminine here. You may also be encountering this in a very physical sense by finding yourself in situations which you previously would have avoided. You may be meeting people and thrown into relationship with them, apparently more by circumstance than by your own conscious choosing. And that's usually how twin flames, that the contract draws them together in just the oddest ways. This is a meeting of you with your shadow and something to rejoice in, all right? So there's the shadow self, hence the exorcism and the liberation and the freedom, right? This is a meeting of you with your shadow and something to rejoice in, even if it is uncomfortable at times. Be gentle and loving with yourself and kindly seek to find the beauty in what you are learning about yourself and your interactions and experiences. With run-on sentences. You are a wise soul, seeking to know yourself rather than judge others. Remember your divine perfection as you are thrilled and challenged in this time of great growth, which is really saying we can't fuck up the divine plan, right? Whatever we experience, it's about how we get the free will of how we want to experience it, right? Remember your divine perfection, that we are the divine in a game, the divine experiencing the divine as the divine and as something other than the divine, but is all the divine in the game. What would love do? That's the name of the game. You are guided to be curious as though traveling to a foreign land and remaining open to experiencing its treasures. All right, so that's what the card means. This is the oracular meaning. This oracle holds a message for you. A deeper part of yourself is calling you forward. Any discontent, struggle, anxiety, or fear is a subconscious recognition of this. Don't worry. You are a unique plant in the divine garden. Aww, I want to be Deadly Nightshade. Such a pretty card, Belladonna. Yeah, it's more than a Stevie Nicks album. It's pretty. I love that album. You don't have to know what plant you are in order to grow. Except I'm Deadly Nightshade. Dibs. You just need to live each day, and the growth happens naturally. Then you can see over time the beauty of your true nature revealing itself to you. It will be a revelation to be relished, right? So obviously this goes along with the Exorcist theme, but it's like you're both in new terrain in this contract. I don't think either one of you have really been in this place, and perhaps a bit uncomfortable, which is why my eye is drawn to this fantasy card. It's like Divine Masculine. It's okay. Yeah, you're in balance and juggling. Maybe you're trying to get harmony because this situation has made you uncomfortable, right? That you're trying to liberate somebody who really is in the process of liberating themselves, which should be good enough, right? Let's do the poem. Breathe. From the white foam on a surface of blue to the mystery beneath the waves, wherever your travels may lead, may the artist's touch inspire us to explore the ocean realm and celebrate the beauty as land gives way to water and water to the unknown. So there's definitely something here about wading into the waves of the unknown, particularly Divine Feminine. I'm feeling that really clearly. Let's just do this in an overview, shall we? Join with me, please. Take a nice deep breath. Magic clap! Bam! Okay, so we start with the Divine Feminine here with the Monk Nun archetype, the shadow, negative judgment of the physical world, excess piety. The light attribute, selfless devotion and single-minded dedication to spirit. That she's in retreat, that she's in contemplation, dealing with loneliness, yet feeling this sense of adventure, which marks really well with that Sacred Convergence card. And the message from her higher self and the higher selves of all involved is demonstrate love. Find out what is important to the people you love and act on it, but remember you're one of the people you love. So action is eventually called for here. For the Divine Masculine, we've got the Liberator archetype with the shadow of imposing your own tyranny over those you claim to liberate, ignoring legitimate constraints. The light attribute, freeing yourself and others from outmoded beliefs, releasing negative thought patterns. Because really, overall, the harmony with the Two of Pentacles, just lovely. A juggling harmony, someone who's really good at this. But with this card of fantasy, there is a need to free oneself from a limiting belief. And yes, a fantasy is a limiting belief when it is perhaps disguising something even better. That our heart's desires are everything we came in to manifest will manifest. But, you know, we don't have to work so hard at visualizing it if it's scripted, right? And hence that lucky card. My sense is that this fantasy is not the downfall of this Divine Masculine so much, but because they are lucky. They're lucky that what they're fantasizing probably isn't that far away, like it's in the general neighborhood or county of what's going to go down. But that it's just not the clearest, and when is that ever the case that what we fantasize shows up exactly as we fantasized it. And with that voice from the higher selves, look to your inner strength. You are stronger than you realize. That makes sense. That what really is needed for is this Divine Masculine to go within, sort of as the Divine Feminine is already, or at least getting ready to. The contract itself is an exorcism contract with the Exorcist, the shadow attribute, fear of facing your own demons. It feels like both of them are up for that for a bit. The light attribute, freeing yourself and others from destructive impulses, right? Hence why the Divine Feminine might be in retreat mode and the Divine Masculine really juggling, bringing themselves into balance. And here is this balance card of Ma'at, justice, right, with the card of freedom, like freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses. The Three of Cups, something here, an initial celebration, a raising of cups, a time of happiness, not all the way home, not a Ten of Cups, just a 3, but nonetheless, even small victories in air quotes that you can't see because the picture's up. There is an okay thing to celebrate. Well, we got that battle done. We got that one done. Let's celebrate. We just freed ourselves from something. And yet there is a cynicism, like a dark cloud circling this, that maybe perhaps is obstructing some of the joy, the true presence of the divine within. But then the resolution to that really feels like you are limitless. Recognize this truth. You can do anything you choose to do. So you can choose to be cynical, or you can choose to be joyful. I don't know if you can choose to be joyfully cynical, but there's that thing of really this contract can be whatever you want it to be individually, but what actually plays out is already scripted. And with that card of sacred convergence, there's definitely a coming together. That's what a convergence is. People converge at a particular place at a particular time, like a divine flash mob of synchronicity, but there is a journey here involving the shadow as well. New terrain, some discomfort here, but we all have our own ways of wading into the waters of the unknown. So there we have it, my Sagittarius asses. I love you all so much. What a high, holy vibe deal. And this is absolutely going to serve the well-being of all, the quantum collective, of all humanity. At least I can feel that. This is a very, very high vibe thing. And Saggies, you are very high vibe. So thank you so much for watching. Again, please do like and subscribe. And I'll give you the blessing. May the Sagittarian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs be blessed in their twin flame contracts, that all involved may have all that they need to help them heal, to teach them how to heal, to teach them how to grow, to teach them how to love and evolve and become the best that they can be for the well-being of all. And so it is. Wishing you the very best and the very blessed. Again, please do like and subscribe. Hey, Drunk Tarot, don't you want to see it? Yeah, you do. You're a Sag. You think, oh, that sounds new. Let's try that, right? So may you have the very best and the very blessed of the rest of this month and into November. But for now, my Saggies, hail, farewell, and blessed be.